John Stamos was always seen as America's favorite uncle. His perfect hair, bright smile, and easy charm made him one of the most loved faces on television. But in 2025, he opened up about something few expected. He said that at one point in his life, he wanted everything to end. He took on a dark role as a serial killer, not because he wanted to shock people, but to prove that he could play someone completely opposite of the lovable Uncle Jesse. He admitted that playing an evil character actually made him appreciate Uncle Jesse more. But behind that confession was a deeper reason. It came from years of pain, his DUI arrest, a heartbreaking divorce, and childhood trauma he had hidden for decades. What he revealed changed how fans saw him forever. John Stamos was born on August 19, 1963, in Cypress, California. His mother, Loretta Phillips, came from Irish and English roots and once worked as a swimsuit model. His father, Bill Stamos, was a second-generation Greek-American who ran several restaurants. The family's original last name was Stamatopoulos, but John's grandfather, Giannis Stamos, changed it when he came to America in the early 1900s. Giannis had grown up in a small Greek mountain village, but tragedy struck early. His father was murdered in 1905. Locals called the killer Judas. That act of violence haunted the family and was one of the reasons they left Greece to start over in America. John grew up with two younger sisters, Janine and Alana, who both later became teachers in California. Their home life was close, strict, and centered on hard work. John's father believed discipline built character. Even though John dreamed about music and acting, he spent weekends working at the family's burger places, Duke's, Yellow Basket, and Burger Basket. He cleaned tables, flipped burgers, and served customers. Those long days behind the counter taught him responsibility. Because of my dad, John said, I learned to be a pro. In 1976, when John was around 13, he went to a Beach Boys concert. That night changed his life. The music and energy filled him with a dream he couldn't shake. At school, he joined the marching band, playing drums, and by age 15, he was taking music and acting lessons while still working at the restaurants. He loved performing, whether it was through magic tricks or playing guitar at small events. In 1980, his high school band traveled to Ireland to perform in Dublin's St. Patrick's Day Parade. That trip gave him confidence. On the last day, he told a friend he wanted to be an actor. He wasn't the popular kid or the athlete, but he knew what he wanted to do. After graduating, he planned to go to Cypress College but decided to take one semester off to chase his dream. That break changed everything. In 1981, John auditioned for General Hospital and got the part of Blackie Parrish when he was just 18. It was supposed to be a short 5-episode role, but fans loved him so much that producers kept him on for 2 years. He even earned an Emmy nomination for Outstanding Supporting Actor. Overnight, he became a teen idol. He was the charming bad boy everyone loved, and fan mail poured in by the thousands. Even as fame grew, John didn't want to be typecast as just another pretty face. He was passionate about music and wanted to bring that into his acting. He used his real drumming skills on the show, and he even formed a small band as a kid called Destiny. During General Hospital, he dated co-stars like Janine Turner and Demi Moore and even had 2 minor nose surgeries to refine his on-screen look. By 1984, he decided to move on. His character was sent to prison, and John left the soap world to focus on primetime television. That same year, he got a lead role in CBS's Dreams, a drama about a rock band, but it only lasted a few episodes. Even though the show failed, John kept writing music and working towards something bigger. He started performing with the Beach Boys in 1985, a full-circle moment after that childhood concert. He played drums for them in live shows and appeared in their Kokomo music video. In 1992, he even sang lead vocals on their song Forever, which became one of his most personal performances. In his 2023 memoir, If You Would Have Told Me, John revealed a dark part of his past. He had been sexually abused by a babysitter when he was around 10 years old. He had buried the memory for decades until he started writing his book. He said the memory came back while preparing a speech for a children's charity. He had been an ambassador for child advocacy for years but had never spoken publicly about his experience until then. Writing helped him face it. He said it felt like playing dead, hoping it would stop, and even though it wasn't physically violent, the trauma stayed with him. Even while acting, his father made him keep working at the restaurant. Customers were stunned to see a TV star flipping burgers. John finally told his dad, "I'm on national TV. This is embarrassing." His father eventually let him quit, but John said those years taught him everything about professionalism and gratitude. After General Hospital, John took small parts in TV shows like The Love Boat and movies like Never Too Young to Die. That movie was wild. He played a gymnastics spy opposite Gene Simmons, who played a villain. The movie flopped but later became a cult favorite. John proved he was willing to take risks and laugh at himself. Then came the role that defined him. In 1987, Full House premiered. John played Jesse Cochran at first, but he convinced producers to change the last name to Katsopoulos to reflect his Greek roots. It became part of the show's charm. At first, the show didn't do well in the ratings. John even thought about quitting after the pilot because he felt overshadowed by the kids. But when the reruns aired that summer, ratings exploded, and Full House became a massive hit. Jesse's cool style, his hair, leather jackets, and "Have Mercy" catchphrase, made John one of the biggest stars on TV. By the time the show ended in 1995, over 24 million people watched the finale. John didn't stop there. He went to Broadway in 1995 and took over the lead role in How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying. Many doubted him, but he proved them wrong, performing 8 shows a week and earning glowing reviews. His mentor Jack Klugman told him, "You're better than Full House," and John finally believed it. Throughout all his success, music remained his constant companion. His version of Forever with the Beach Boys wasn't just a TV performance, it was something deeply personal. Dennis Wilson had written the song in 1970, and John felt connected to its emotion. He recorded it with the band for their Summer in Paradise album, and decades later, he still performs it live as a tribute to lost friends like Bob Saget. Behind the fame and the smile, John Stamos' life has been filled with struggles, growth, and resilience. He went from a teenager cleaning restaurant tables to one of the most beloved figures in American pop culture. But the man behind Uncle Jesse isn't just a character, he's someone who has faced pain, rebuilt himself, and still finds joy in performing. After all these years, he's not just the perfect uncle from TV. He's a survivor, a musician, and someone who learned that even after heartbreak, there's always another stage to step onto, another song to play, and another reason to keep going. The rumor about John Stamos being in Never Been Kissed is completely false. The movie came out in 1999, not 1997, and starred Drew Barrymore as Josie, an undercover reporter pretending to be a student. The charming teacher everyone fell for was played by Michael Vartan, not Stamos. There was no cameo, no deleted scene, nothing. Around that time, John was actually starring in a TV movie called Sealed with a Kiss, playing a Boston financial consultant named Bennett. The confusion likely came because during the late 1990s, he appeared in a lot of romantic comedies, which made people assume he was part of that same world. But in this case, his name wasn't in the credits or anywhere else connected to the movie. In 2005, Stamos tried something new again. He starred in an ABC sitcom called Jake in Progress, where he played Jake Phillips, a New York publicist trying to turn his life around. Originally, the show's creators had a unique idea: it would unfold in real time like the show 24, but instead of explosions and shootouts, it would feature awkward dates and witty conversations. That idea didn't last, and the show was reshaped into a more traditional sitcom. The cast included Wendy Malick as his boss, Rick Hoffman as a quirky artist, and Ian Gomez as his loyal best friend. The show started with decent ratings, around 5.5 million viewers, but ABC couldn't decide what to do with it. They canceled it, brought it back, and then canceled it again after another short run in early 2006. When the dust settled, 7 of the 21 episodes they filmed never even aired. On May 13, 2006, Jake in Progress was officially canceled, ending another chapter of Stamos's career. That same year, his career took a major turn. He joined ER, one of the most popular medical dramas of all time. The show was already deep into its 12th season when he appeared as Tony Gates. At first, Gates was just a paramedic, but it was soon revealed that he was actually a medical student gaining experience in the field. His first appearance was in an episode called The Human Shield, where his partner was shot during a dangerous rescue. Tony Gates was sharp, confident, and often reckless, a guy who didn't always follow the rules. His coworkers called him a cowboy. That attitude caused tension with others, especially Gregory Pratt. In one unforgettable scene, Gates ran into a burning building just before it exploded and nearly died. Over 4 seasons, his character grew. He faced tragedy when a woman he cared about died of an overdose, and he became guardian to her daughter, Sarah. His complicated relationships with Neela and Sam made him one of the show's more complex figures. By the time ER ended in 2009, Stamos had appeared in around 65 episodes. Off-screen, his personal life was full of ups and downs. John first saw Rebecca Romaine at a Victoria's Secret fashion show and was immediately drawn to her. They married on September 19, 1998, and for a while, things seemed perfect. But while her career skyrocketed, especially after she starred as Mystique in X-Men, his career stalled. He began to feel insecure and resentful. In his 2023 memoir, he admitted that he felt emasculated by her success. When they divorced in 2005, he was devastated. In interviews, he called her the devil and said he hated her. Years later, he realized that his anger was really pain and regret. He admitted, maybe she wasn't the devil. Maybe I was just as much to blame. 9 years later, in 2014, tragedy struck again. His mother, Loretta, who he always described as the love of his life, passed away from cancer. Her death crushed him. He turned to alcohol to numb the pain, but that soon escalated. He began mixing alcohol with Ambien, a sleeping pill, which caused severe memory loss. He started forgetting lines and names, even blacking out while filming Fuller House in 2016. He later said quitting Ambien was even harder than quitting alcohol. The lowest point came on June 12, 2015. John was driving in Beverly Hills when witnesses saw him swerving. Police thought he was having a medical emergency and rushed him to the hospital. Tests showed he was under the influence of Vicodin and marijuana. He didn't fight the charges and later admitted he could have killed someone. He called that night the most shameful of his life. On November 24, 2015, he pleaded no contest and was sentenced to 3 years of probation, ordered to attend an alcohol program, 52 AA meetings, and drug counseling. After his divorce, things only got darker. Rebecca remarried actor Jerry O'Connell in 2007, and by 2008, she had twins. Watching her move on made Stamos spiral. He obsessed over her for years, unable to let go. Even in his 2023 memoir, he mentioned her again, reopening old wounds. The public drama even affected her family. Jerry had to explain to their daughters why John was saying harsh things about their mom. During this rough period, another old scar reopened. While filming Fuller House in 2016, John reconnected with a woman he had dated in the 1980s named Terry Copley. He claimed he once walked in on her cheating with actor Tony Danza, describing it vividly in his book. Copley denied it completely and even posted a YouTube video explaining that they had already broken up at the time. But for John, the pain was real. That heartbreak, combined with his addictions, pushed him to the edge. After his DUI in 2015, he hit rock bottom. That same night after being released, he drank a whole bottle of wine. Soon after, he entered rehab for 30 days. Even during filming My Big Fat Greek Wedding 2 in Canada, he admitted he was still drinking lightly, just to get through the day. Slowly, therapy began to help. He started being open about the sexual abuse he suffered as a child, something he had kept secret for decades. Talking about it finally gave him some peace. When Fuller House premiered on Netflix on February 26, 2016, it was more than a reunion, it was redemption. Stamos wasn't just playing Uncle Jesse again, he was also an executive producer, in charge of the show that defined his life. It ran for 5 seasons until 2020 and gave him a sense of control and pride he hadn't felt in years. Love found him again, too. In 2011, he appeared in an episode of Law and Order, SVU, about a man who tampered with condoms to get women pregnant. His co-star in that episode was Caitlin McHugh. Years later, they reconnected, began dating, and got married in February 2018. Just 2 months later, their son Billy was born. John said that becoming a father changed everything. Quitting Ambien was brutal, he said withdrawal was worse than alcohol detox. He couldn't sleep for weeks, but he made it through. He eventually stopped all medications, including antidepressants, and said for the first time in years, he felt truly clear-headed. In 2021, he took on a role that reflected his new life. On Disney+, he played Coach Marvin Korn in Big Shot, a show about a temperamental basketball coach learning patience and empathy. It ran for 2 seasons and gave him a chance to pour his real-life emotions about fatherhood into his character. In his memoir, John reflected on regrets, like turning down the lead in Nip/Tuck because Rebecca disliked the script, a decision that cost him a huge role. He also revisited the Tony Danza story, joking that the Elton John song playing during the alleged affair made it feel like "Hold Me Closer, Tony Danza." By 2023, he began exploring darker roles again. He appeared in Season 4 of You on Netflix, playing a manipulative, unsettling character far removed from his wholesome image. Sobriety had given him a new sense of confidence. His therapist, Phil Stutz, played a big part in his recovery, and John credits him with saving his life. In 2025, John finally got what he called his Breaking Bad moment. He starred in Drag, a horror film produced by Danny DeVito, where he played a serial killer. He described it as his darkest role yet, saying that playing such an evil person actually helped him appreciate Uncle Jesse even more. That same year, he joined Season 2 of Apple TV+'s Palm Royale, starring Kristen Wiig and Laura Dern, where he played Dr. Dusty Magic, a shady lawyer gynecologist. He called it an honor to work alongside legends like Carol Burnett and Allison Janney. Off-screen, his life was peaceful. At a charity event in September 2025, John laughed while telling the crowd that his son Billy had started using his dad's fame to impress girls. One girl said her favorite show was Fuller House, and Billy replied, "That's my dad. He's Uncle Jesse." John laughed, saying Billy mostly watched just to tease him, often quoting Michelle Tanner's famous line, "You got it, dude." After decades of fame, heartbreak, and recovery, John Stamos finally seems at peace. He continues to support Child Help, a cause he's been part of for over 30 years, raising millions for abused children. He says his mother's voice still guides him, reminding him to stay humble and grateful no matter how far he's come.